window in the window here very shortly. Somebody was kind enough to try and take a picture the other day, and it got a little close to them. Parked the window right out with their camera. I'm like, if everybody scoots down to their left about an inch, we'll be able to get everybody up here and get everybody seated. We'll all be comfortable. I'm gonna shut the door, try and keep what heat in that I can. Sorry. And keep my big mouth in here. It tends to travel. And I want to show you. See, the draft right now is pulling the door shut. So if that thing opens on its own, it ain't me. It ain't a draft either. I love it when that door swings open by itself because I don't have any strings or magnets or any of that kind of foolishness. I don't need it. And sometimes it doesn't do a thing. And then there's other times when I can't keep that thing shut. And that's entertaining for me. I had Boy Scouts up here one time, about 25 of them, in their Class A uniforms with the hats and the bandanas and all that kind of stuff. And the whole time telling stories, what you hear is, I'm thinking, man, boys are being rude and talking while I'm telling stories. And I got to looking around at them. They're all... Finally, the boy in the corner over there said, "It's behind me, man." Just said, all right, be cool for just a minute. Let's be cool, and let's just listen. So we sat there and we listened for a solid minute. And what you heard underneath was... I finally said, "You boys are scared, aren't you? And you'd like to go now?" That's too bad, man. I'm telling stories up here right now. That door swung open by itself. There wasn't nothing but Boy Scout dust up here inside of 5 seconds. They cleared out because they didn't want any parts of that anymore. We get that kind of thing up here because we had sharpshooters here in the house, up here in the attic, out on the back porch, and out on the back roof, trying to pick off soldiers up there on East Cemetery Hill. That is 400 yards with a musket. That ain't a bad shot, really, when you think about it. They must have been doing a pretty good job to get shot back at like they were, too. I don't know if you had a chance to notice, there's at least 150 obvious bullet holes in this side of the house out here. 6 of those boys died at that little attic window right there, and they didn't have an opportunity to get their bodies down in the cellar where it was cooler till the day was over, and they couldn't see their targets anymore. So they just dragged them into that corner over there, leave them stacked up till they had a chance to move them. And these are the original beams and floorboards and lath and plaster that would tend to leave a little something linger behind, you might say. And it does keep us on our toes around here. It gives us an awful lot to talk about. I guess you could say it's the source of a lot of things. It's also the source of a lot of the questions. When I mention questions, we do get a lot of them, so don't be ashamed if you have a question. When I first started working here, a guy stood right out in front of the house out there and looked at all the bullet holes and just said, "Man, that's a lot of holes." "Yes, sir." "And you said they were shooting back and forth this way, right?" "Mm-hmm." "Well, how come there ain't no bullet holes in that Holiday Inn up there?" "I'm not kidding. Oh my God, these are adults. They drive and they vote and breed." In the past year and a half, I've been asked how many telephone poles got knocked down. How come there's no bullet holes in the monuments out there? What do you do with them in the wintertime? How come all the battles take place on national park property? Love that one. Where's General Washington's headquarters? That was this past March. At least that one's a war, you know. She's off by about 77 years, but that's okay. 2 weeks ago, right where you're sitting, this young lady's probably about 14 years old, 15, something like that. Yeah, she must be about the same age. She looks in that showcase. She points. She said, "That long curved thing that looks like a sword. What is that?" I said, "That there be what we call a sword." She said, "No, it's not. Swords aren't round like that. They're sharp and pointy. That there be what we call a scabbard." "Well, what's it for?" "It's for people like you to keep them from cutting their own head off." All right? It's just mercy. The best one ever, though. Well, I should say one of the most polite, best ones I've ever had. One came up to me on the porch August of last year and said, "I have been looking all over the place for it, but I can't find it. Where's the monument to the Alaskan soldiers?" And of course I had to answer, it's next to the Hawaiian monument. And I thought she was going to get it. She said, "Well, what's he look like?" "He's got coconuts and a grass skirt and a musket. You'll know when you see him." "Well, thank you so much." Off she went. If you ask me a question like that, I promise to answer you politely in front of everybody in here. And I'm going to talk all about you at 9:30 tonight when I go downstairs in the cellar, because you've earned it at that point. The other question that we get at least once a week, and I had it last night and the night before, actually, is, come on, honestly, truly, have you ever really seen a ghost? And then I actually had to break down and say, be totally candid and honest with you, yeah. This job wouldn't be half as much fun as it is if something funky didn't have around us once in a while, keep us on our toes. That's why I like working here, because not a week goes by that I don't have something else to talk about.